Sagittarius, what's going on with you? Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. My name's Alan Hill from UnknownTruthTarot.com. Welcome back to another Sagittarius love reading. In the Sagittarius reading today, we are going to take a look at the status of the love connection between you and your romantic person of interest here in February 2025. I'm going to get one card to represent the mutual point of interest between the two of you here in February 2025. I'm going to get 3 cards for you, 3 cards for your person, and then I'm going to clarify everything with the second deck just to make sure we can get down to the bottom of the unknown truth about what's really going on in this love connection of yours. So let's get started. Let's get one card for what's the mutual point of interest between Sagittarius and their romantic person of interest in February 2025. Thank you. Let's get 3 cards for you. What's going on with you, Sagittarius? How you been doing? What's going on with Sagittarius? Okay, we're taking some extra cards, it would appear. Let's see. All this came out at the end. What do we have going on here? Okay. Let's see what's going on with your person. What's going on with Sagittarius's romantic person of interest as it relates to Sagittarius and the connection between them. February 2020. We're taking you too, I guess, huh? That one was yelling at me, so... Okay, on the bottom of the deck, the overall energy of this reading is Justice. This is the Libra Major Arcana card. This is the most powerful card of balance in the tarot deck. It's about doing the right, fair, just thing. This card shows up for me when something unbalanced is going on, something unfair or unjust is happening, and this card points out the need to correct that, and it looks like I see what's happening already. Under this energy, we have the 9 of Wands. This is Sagittarius energy. This is a walled-off defensive energy. This is also an energy of healing. That's the wounded warrior, and he's built this wall around himself as a way to protect himself. It's like a defense mechanism so he doesn't get hurt. This usually means someone has been hurt and their emotional walls have come up, although this can sometimes represent just like a barrier that's in the way here. It could be some unfair, unjust thing has hurt you. Could be we have some barrier that's in the way between you and it's an unbalanced thing, an unfair thing that's going on. Excuse me. Under that, I have some Sagittarius energy again, Knight of Wands. This is the second fastest knight in the deck. This is someone who rushes forward and takes this rapid, passionate action on something they have a lot of passion and desire for. This sometimes gets referred to as the player of the tarot deck because it can be someone who comes rushing in and tells you everything that you want to hear in order to get what they want, but then they rush off somewhere else and tell that person everything they want to hear to get what they want there, and then they come back and forth playing 2 different people. This can be like a really wishy-washy, in and out, back and forth, keep changing my mind kind of an energy. It can be non-committal in the sense of it might be someone who at the beginning is very ambitious and driven and motivated by something, and they're all passionate about it and they're all gung-ho about it, but then something will happen and then they'll pull back and they'll go a different direction and kind of change their mind. It can be like wishy-washy and I can't keep my mind made up. I can't stay fully committed to what I said I want. So we got some kind of an issue going on here. That's the gist of what this reading is going to talk to me about. We might have to come back to that more as we go along. This mutual point of interest is shared energy that affects both of you in some way here in February 2025. It won't always affect you exactly the same way. Sometimes they'll do this and you'll feel the consequences of it, or even vice versa. Sometimes they'll say or do something and it'll make you feel or act this way, or vice versa. Shared energy between the two of you in February 2025, Sagittarius, is the 8 of Cups. This is Pisces energy. Excuse me. This is emotionally detaching or even physically detaching and walking away. The person in the card is walking away from 8 full cups of love because they believe there's something better out there for them and they got to go find out. So sometimes this will represent maybe your person having that whole grass is greener on the other side of the fence thing going on, and maybe they got to go find out if it is or not. Sometimes this is just an energy where someone starts to act different and they emotionally detach and possibly even physically walk away. So let's clarify this and see what else we can find out. Tell me more about this Eight of Cups. Why is that the shared energy affecting Sagittarius and their romantic person of interest? Okay, what do we have here? Problematic. On the bottom of the deck, Two of Wands. This is Aries energy. This is a fork in the road. It's a crossroads in this relationship, maybe a crossroads in your life. This is a decision point, and it's a decision about what is it I really want my life to be like? What do I want my world to be like? And which of these two paths is going to get me there? You can't turn left and right at the same time, though. So it's not just a choice about which path am I going to take to get what I want. It's also about which path am I going to leave behind in order to get what I want. I'm clarifying a card about detaching and walking away here. Something unfair going on, someone's walls coming up, maybe someone changing their mind here. This is a 2, so it's some sort of a choice here about what is it that you actually want. Right behind that, I have the King of Swords. This is Aquarius energy. This is a very smart, logical, rational person. It's someone who's interested in the truth and the facts. It's a decision-making energy, but it's the kind of person that's emotionally detached when they make their decisions. They throw their emotions out the window. This is someone who can feel cold and calculated or emotionally distant, emotionally detached. It's someone who doesn't let their emotions get involved in their decision making. They don't want to let that cloud their judgment. So they're interested in the truth and the facts and what's right in front of me and what can I see with my own eyes and verify to be true. And I'm going to decide based on that and that alone. Someone is definitely detached. I've got emotional detachment here as the shared energy, dealing with someone that's probably very distant feeling. And right behind that, Five of Swords. This is Aquarius energy. Fives are conflict. So this can be a conflict in communicating, as in like a big fight, a big argument or something that's happened between the two of you. And maybe now I'm reconsidering, do I want this or not? Sometimes this will represent common sense and logic and reason trying to tell you something, almost like trying to flag you down. Like, hey, dumbass, pay attention to what's in front of you. It could be something like that. This Five of Swords, it's a conflict of some kind. If it's not a big fight, the other meaning to it could be a betrayal of some kind. Sometimes it's dealing with a person who has this winning at all cost mentality. Like, I don't care what happens to you. As long as I get what I want, that's the only thing that matters to me. If you have to get hurt in that process, well, sorry about your luck. It could be that. At its core, this is a mentally and psychologically painful situation or event taking place here. Now, when I clarify this Eight of Cups, this emotionally detaching, maybe even physically walking away, I get the Strength card, the Devil, and the Three of Pentacles. Strength is a Leo Major Arcana card. This card tells me that you're going through a very difficult situation right now. It's probably taking all of your internal strength in order to make it through this. This can sometimes represent a person who's trying to tame this beast inside themselves, like they have this urge or this desire or this drive to do something, and they're trying to hold themselves back. They're trying to rein themselves in, contain themselves, so they don't rush off and do something that might be some kind of a mistake. So it's some sort of a struggle against a piece of a person's self. And it's looking like that leads to this Devil card here, which is Capricorn's Major Arcana card. This is a heavy toxic energy. It's sometimes addiction or obsession to something. It can be a feeling of being trapped by something, feeling like I can't escape from something, like something else has control of me and I don't have any control over it. This is a control energy, but again, it's about something else being in control. These are the same two people from the Lovers card, only they have chains around their neck and they have horns and tails because they've been stuck in this distorted toxic energy for so long that it's starting to distort them. It's starting to change who they are here. This can sometimes be an element of a person's shadow, another piece of themselves like that they don't like, that they don't want you to see, they don't want other people to see, they don't want to see it themselves. Usually it'll be something that someone is in denial about. But whatever that is, it feels like the thing that's running the show here. That's the piece of them that they're trying to resist against. This is looking like your person is got an issue here and it's starting to affect you. Now, that's the thing. Like, this card is connected to the Lover's card in a couple of ways. First, it's the same two people on the card. But second, this is card 15 of the major arcana. And in numerology, you take double-digit numbers like 15, 1, and 5, and you add that together to get 6. Well, Lovers is the card number 6 of the major arcana. So it's connected numerologically, and it's also connected with the visuals on the card. It can represent that when you're chained to another person, when you're in a connection with that other person and they have this toxicity inside them or around them, it's going to be almost impossible for you to be connected to them like this without getting some of that toxicity on yourself too. A lot of times this will be a piece of a person where they've gotten hurt, and instead of like dealing with the actual thing that's going wrong, with dealing with the problem, they kind of repress it and they push it down and they pretend like it's not happening. Like, excuse me, like they pretend like everything's fine, I'm totally fine, and they try to move on. But something did happen and they're not fine, and refusing to face it and refusing to deal with it isn't going to make the pain go away. It's just going to shove it down inside of a person. And then it's going to start doing unconscious things, trying to get that message across to them. Pain always has a message to deliver, and this would be someone who's ignored the message and is trying not to hear it. But it would be like if a hand grenade blows up next to you and now you've got a piece of shrapnel in your thigh, and it's really painful to dig it out. So instead of digging that out, you just kind of sew your thigh up and leave the metal in there. Well, that's not going to work out very well. It's going to fester up. It's going to get infected. It's going to cause like gangrene or some kind of big problem. And that's kind of what this is the emotional equivalent of. And I think that's probably the piece that someone's resisting against here. And it's probably making them feel like I need to like go see if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. Probably can't contain that piece of myself. This is some sort of an urge or a drive or like an unconscious thing, and this is resisting against that urge. The final clarifier here for the Eight of Cups is the Three of Pentacles, more Capricorn energy. This is teamwork, collaboration, working together as equals to build something of value. This would be like laying the foundations for the Ten of Pentacles, which would be combining lives together, building a life together, living together, getting married, something like that, going down that kind of a path. And this would be laying the foundations for that. But the foundations have this toxic element around it and someone that's trying to resist. And like this little lady is not going to be able to hold the lion back forever. At some point, she's going to get tired, or she's going to fall asleep, or the lion's just going to have enough of it and maul her and go do whatever it wants. So usually when a person is struggling like this to resist a piece of themselves, especially something like this, they almost always ultimately lose that struggle. Like if it's willpower alone, we eventually run out of willpower. And if you're trying to build something with someone that has that going on, it's like a ticking time bomb, I guess. Now, that's the shared energy affecting you both here in February 2025, Sagittarius. Not uncommon at the very beginning. I don't fully understand exactly what this is trying to tell me. So I will come back to this shared energy as I go through your energy, because then I'll be able to see how it applies to you. I will come back to this again as I go through your person's energy, because then I can see how it applies to them. But that's the shared energy affecting you. Your energy in this connection, Sagittarius, the first card is always the most important. You got the Three of Swords. Central to your energy is the Star. And your final card came out as a mess of three all at once. We have Judgment, the King of Cups, and the Tower. That should be interesting. This Three of Swords is Libra energy. This is heartbreak and sadness, usually from a third energy, which would mean it's not your energy, it's not your person's energy, it's some other energy. Doesn't always have to be a romantic third party, although based on some of the stuff I'm seeing, it might very well be a third party. Like nosy friends, nosy family members, neighbors, co-workers, anybody that's not either of you sticking their nose where it doesn't belong, causing some kind of a problem, can be this third energy. Working too much can be that. Geographic distance, an addiction, like any number of things can be this third energy. But we got something else that's not the two of you involved here causing some sort of a problem. So tell me about this Three of Swords, please. Why is that most important card for Sagittarius in this connection in February 2025. Thank you. Okay. On the bottom of the deck, underlying this Three of Swords energy, Queen of Swords, more Libra energy. Okay, so I've got a Libra Major Arcana as the overall energy here. Your first card is a Libra card. I've got a Libra energy on the bottom. I've got some Pisces, some Leo, some Capricorn, some Capricorn, some Capricorn, a little bit more Pisces here, and some fire sign Sagittarius energy here. So you could be dealing with any of those signs. I have some Pisces here, some Cancer here, some Aquarius here, some more Pisces or Scorpio, depending on how you view that, a little more Aquarius. You could be dealing with any sign. This is a general collective reading, so it's going to be almost impossible for me to pin down exactly who you are dealing with as an individual person, because in this reading, I'm not tapping into your specific energy as an individual person the same way I would if I was doing a personal reading with you where it's just you and me one-on-one. In this reading, I'm tapping into thousands of Sagittarius people all at the same time. So I'm going to continue to call these signs out as they stick out to me, just in case they mean anything to you. But this Queen of Swords is Libra energy. This is she who knows the truth. She's about speaking the truth on something, and then she's about cutting off the things or the people that aren't in her best interest anymore. She's very smart, and she's got her eyes open, and she knows what's going on around her. She's also very fair, which is why she has her hand held out. She's offering someone the chance to speak their truth. Tell me your side of the story. The problem is she already knows the truth, so when their story doesn't match the truth she knows, she cuts their head off. It's the off with your head queen. So a lot of times she'll represent having this difficult conversation where I'm speaking the truth on something and then there's a severing of the connection. We're clarifying an energy here that could be talking about a third person being involved. There's some external energy happening here and it's causing a problem. And this looks like I'm done dealing with that. Maybe I want to be done dealing with that. I have Seven of Cups behind it. This is Scorpio energy of options and choices and confusion about my options and choices. There's a lot of different cups here. There's a lot of different ways this could play itself out. And there's a lot of emotions involved. And I don't want to pick the wrong cup and make some kind of a mistake. But the smoke clouds around all these cups can represent clouded judgment, clouded decision making, clouded vision. Can even represent someone trying to blow a smoke screen so you can't see everything that's going on. And if that's the case, there's the queen that sees what's going on in front of the smoke screen. So it's almost like someone trying to hide something but not very successful at doing that. This can represent someone has other options besides you. I realize I'm in your energy, and it's very common that this whole first column of cards, even when I clarify it, ends up being this person's stuff showing up over here in your energy because what they're doing is affecting you so much. But behind this confusion or these options, I've got the Lovers card, which is the Gemini Major Arcana. I referenced that when I told you about the Devil here. See how they're the same people? This can represent a powerful love connection between two people. It does not mean like the universe or God or source or spirit or however you personally look at that. That's not them sending me a message saying that this person is the one for you. It could represent that maybe you feel that way because this is showing up in your energy. But this can be a powerful love connection. A long time ago, before this card was called the Lovers, it used to be called the Choice. So it's really about the interconnectedness between people. And like you can't make decisions that don't affect them and vice versa. It can even represent a choice about this connection between the two of you. It can even represent a choice between lovers here. I've got something unfair going on and someone's walls are up and someone potentially going to see if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence while they're struggling to resist this probably unhealthy urge that they've got going on here. This is starting already to look like third-party scenario here, especially with some of the stuff I'm seeing in your person's energy and now some of these clarifiers. When I clarify this Three of Swords, I get Queen of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and Temperance. Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. So that's the third Capricorn card I have now. This is sometimes like a wife type of an energy. She works together with the King of Pentacles to build the Ten of Pentacles, that combined together life, that stable, abundant, prosperous home life that we all want. She's half the equation that builds that. I don't have the King out here yet, but we're still early. This a lot of times will represent wife energy. It doesn't necessarily mean legally married wife. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're married to this person, although you could be. You know, a stable, committed girlfriend would qualify as the Queen of Pentacles. Someone that I live with would qualify as the Queen of Pentacles. I do have two separate queens here. Neither one of them would represent you, in the sense that, like, you would probably be showing up as the Queen of Wands if we're talking about someone's sign. If we're talking about qualities, both of these could be you, but then again, one of them could be you and one of them could be some other person here. Could even be a case of where this person is married and wife is the third energy here that's affecting the both of you. Too early to tell yet. When I clarify that Three of Swords, the next card is the Ten of Cups. This is Pisces energy. This is most people's goal in love and relationships. It's being combined together emotionally. We're pouring ourselves into each other equally. Everyone feels loved and appreciated. This is like the happy fairy tale ending, the happy fairy tale romance or love connection that we all dream about. This is the card that gets more people in trouble than any card in the tarot deck. And the reason for that is because we all want this so badly that it leads us to ignore red flags. It leads us to sweep things under the rug and pretend like something hasn't happened when it has happened, because we want this to be true. And if any of those red flags are true, if any of that stuff that I have to sweep under the rug is actually true, then this can't be true. And I want this to be true. So this can lead to some self-delusional behavior. This is usually not talking about true love and happily ever after so much as it's talking about someone's idealized point of view about a relationship or about their person. This would be the equivalent of looking at something for how you want it to be instead of how it actually is, and then acting as if it's the way you want it to be instead of how it actually is. Kind of like how much money is in your bank account right now versus how much do you wish was in your bank account, and then acting as if you actually had that much in your bank account. This is the emotional equivalent of that. And when I have the devil in the center of the shared energy, that's a pretty good clue that this is more of an illusion. It's more of something that's like a facade pretending to be what you want it to be, and maybe haven't been good enough to fool you at some point. The next card is the Ace of Swords. This is the sword of truth and clarity. It's the sword of victory. It's the sword you would use to make some kind of a decision with. Oh man. It's even the sword you would use to sever a connection or to cut someone or something out of your life. It's the sword the Queen of Swords uses, and she's kind of hard mugging me right now. This is looking like some sort of a decision and possibly a severing of what you may have thought was like the happily ever after here. Sagittarius energy here. Major Arcana card, Temperance. This is a card of patience. It's a card of blending these two things together, but doing it a little bit at a time, not being in a big hurry or a rush here. It's being willing to like do a little bit and then step back and take a look at the big picture and see how is all this working out, and then coming back in to make some fine-tuning adjustments and keep doing that until we get things just right. This can also represent reconciliation. In tarot, water represents love and emotions, and here the love has been separated into two different cups and it's being recombined back together, like blending two people back together. I'm not sure that's what's going on. This could just be a reference to patience. I do have strength out here, which is like trying to hold myself back. This could be forced patience, like when I don't want to be patient, but we're building something together here. I've got this view of the connection as this is my happily ever after. Maybe you're married to this person. Maybe you're living together. Maybe that's where you think it's going to go or where you believe it's headed. What's really striking is this Ace of Swords. This is almost feeling like the truth is here. It's just not being viewed. It's not being looked at. Like even the people on the 10 of Cups all have their back to us here, not being able to see the truth. Take that however it resonates for you. Central to your energy, Sagittarius, is the star. This is the Aquarius Major Arcana card. This is a card of hope. It's a card of healing. Sometimes this is a card of wish fulfillment. Sometimes this card can represent someone thinking that this other person is the one for me. I did see the Lovers down here, which can sometimes represent that same thing here. I don't think I went far enough. I've got the Hermit and the 10 of Swords and Justice next. The Hermit is Virgo Major Arcana. This is withdrawal, isolation, like communication shutting down. If it's not shut down completely, it's dramatically different than it used to be. This is a card about doing soul searching and deep inner reflection and deep contemplation, trying to figure out, what do I do moving forward from here? What adjustments do I make to me so that I can move forward the way I want to? This is about looking inside yourself. It's usually not a voluntary thing, though. People don't just wake up one morning and go, you know what, I think I'm going to go into hermit mode now. Something happens and it kind of forces the issue here. Usually what happens is something devastating happening, like a tower, 10 of Swords. I did see the 5 of Swords already. So something has happened here. I've got the 10 of Swords next, which is a swift, painful ending. This is Gemini energy. Sometimes it's an ending you don't see coming, which is why the swords are in your back. Sometimes it's an ending in betrayal, i.e. getting stabbed in the back. And then I have Justice, which is the overall energy of the whole reading. Libra Major Arcana energy. This is a card, like I said, that points out something unbalanced is happening. We definitely have something unbalanced happening and someone struggling with it. Something unfair could be happening. We've got someone detaching and walking away. We've got potentially a third energy involved here. Something unjust is going on here. Now, back to the star. That's your central energy. This card usually represents having the hope that something can be healed. It's also the card that comes after the tower in the sequence of the major arcana. So you don't make it to the star energy without going through a tower of some kind first, where something important in your life comes apart. It just comes crashing down and shatters all around you. When that happens, it's really hard to see the path moving forward from there. Everything's different than it was yesterday, and nothing's the same anymore. This is the guiding light from the universe that lights the way for you so you can see the path moving forward. It's where hope and healing actually come from. This would look like we have hope that we can fix this, which is probably what I'm seeing with this, being patient and maybe trying to rein yourself in and force yourself to be patient. It could even represent, like I said, reconciliation. So let's clarify the star, please. Tell me more about the star. Why is that central for Sagittarius' energy, please? Taking extra ones again. Okay. On the bottom of the deck, 2 of Wands again. Aries energy, fork in the road, crossroads, decision point. It's a decision about what is it you want your life to be like and which of these two paths is going to get you there. But it's also a decision about which path do I leave behind me. King of Swords. There's your logic and reason and common sense trying to talk to you here. This is saying throw your emotions out the window. Don't let that stuff cloud your judgment. I did see 7 of Cups, which can represent emotional confusion. This is saying look at the truth and the facts and make your decision about what you want based on the truth. I have the King of Pentacles behind that, which is the counterpart to this Queen of Pentacles. This is Taurus energy, sometimes Virgo energy, depending on what school of thought you subscribe to. But this can represent husband energy or the person that's building their life around you, the person you're trying to build your life with. I do have 2 different kings here. I'm not sure if that's talking about like 2 different sides to your person here, or again, another reference to that there's a third party involved here. But behind that energy, I've got the Page of Swords, which is an energy of someone who's trying to learn something or trying to figure something out, like snooping around, investigating, Examining evidence of some kind, like trying to figure out what's going on here. Okay. Now, when I clarify the star, I get the Ace of Cups, the Five of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, Seven of Wands, and the Hermit. The Ace of Cups is a new beginning in love and emotions. New cup of love showing up. Now, this can represent that's the third energy here. Some other person showing up. I'm getting way ahead of myself, and I hate doing that, but I kind of have to. Central to your person's energy is the Three of Cups. In a connection between the two of you, there should be two cups, you and them. But we got a new cup, and a third cup is showing up here on their side. I don't know if that third cup is their wife, or if you are the third cup and they're married, or if you are married to this person and some new person is involved now. But I have the Five of Cups next, which again, fives are conflict. This would be in the emotional world. This is Scorpio energy of sadness and remorse about the past. Sometimes this is almost always a negative emotion, like depression or guilt or shame or regrets. You can see the person on the card is looking at these three cups that have been spilled, and that represents all the love and emotions that have been spilled and wasted, all the time, effort, and energy that's been spilled and wasted. In the background, there are still two upright cups, which can represent that there's still a connection that I feel here. That connection that you still feel could be the thing that's keeping you focused on the spillage of everything, focused on what I don't have, focused on what I've lost, focused on what's missing from my life, which is going to cause negative emotions. This really, at its core, this card is really about whatever you focus on is going to determine what emotions you experience. It's going to kind of dictate that to you. Here, they're focused on the past, so they're feeling the past. They're focused on what they've lost, and they're feeling that loss. They're focused on what's missing. They're feeling the gap in their life. Sometimes the three cups that are spilled can represent that a third party was involved, and that's what spilled everything between us. And these two cups in the background could represent, sure, that you still feel a connection to them, but it could also represent a choice between two different cups of love looming in the background here. And I have one of those cups right here. I'm assuming you would be the other one. This could sometimes represent, like, especially when it's with the star, having the hope that we can heal this. This could represent hoping that we can fill the cup back up between the two of us. In other words, start over at square one in terms of love and emotions. Get back to the beginning here. But there's definitely a loss here. Even this Five of Cups is sitting right beside 10 of Cups, which is half of that energy. Some sort of big time emotional loss. Next is the Wheel of Fortune. In terms of zodiac signs, this is the four fixed signs: Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio. This is a change in luck and fortune. If things were going great, this is the wheel spinning the other way and things going to hell in a handbasket. It's that pivotal moment where something shifted like that. If things are going bad, this can represent trying to turn the wheel the other way, trying to correct course and get us back on path, having the hope that we can do that and get back to where we were. Oh man, oh man, oh man. This can also sometimes represent a repeating cycle of something happening again. I've got it right beside the Ace of Swords, which again is truth and clarity, but it can be a decision or even a severing of the connection. That could be the thing where things went sideways on you here. Next, I have the Seven of Wands, which is Leo energy. It's a defensive energy. I've seen both defensive energies now. I've got the Nine of Wands and the Seven of Wands here. This is like defending my position on something, defending my stance, defending like my point of view, being willing to fight for what I want or what I deserve or what's important to me. Sometimes this is fighting for the connection, maybe trying to turn it around because of the loss I'm feeling and having the hope that I can fight through this and we can get past it. It's right beside Temperance, so trying to be patient, potentially trying to blend the two of us back together and fight for this. This person is also fighting off external oncoming energy, and he's got two different shoes on because he was caught off guard. He was not expecting this situation. So I'm feeling that you probably weren't expecting this situation you're finding yourself in right now either. final clarifier for the star is the Hermit. This is the Virgo major arcana card. Again, withdrawal, isolation, communication, shutting down. The thing that's in the Hermit's lantern is the star. So this is about shining that guiding light from the universe down inside yourself and taking a look at what's going on inside of you. This is already starting to feel like this person had some baggage that they never really dealt with. And now that you've been in a connection with them, it would be the equivalent of like if I'm covered head to toe in mud and I give you a hug, you're going to get mud on you. There's no way around that. And it's the same here. Like if this person has got toxicity on them or in them, you can't be in a relationship with them without that getting on you too. And this could be a case of where now you have some inner work to do because of them, because they didn't do theirs. This is about searching your soul usually for what adjustments do I make to me so that I can move forward the way that I want to. It could also represent that you got ghosted here and this person just abruptly detached and walked away. It could also represent that you don't have closure, like they're not filling you in on the details here, so you don't really know what's going on other than something has come apart between the two of you. It's looking like you're trying to turn this situation around. But when I get to your final card, it came out as 3. We got Judgment, the King of Cups, and the Tower. Judgment. This is a final verdict in Judgment. It's the most powerful decision card in the deck. This is in a relationship reading. Either A, we're going to call this dead and over with and there's no coming back from it. Or B, we're going to resurrect this and bring it back to life and transform it so it's never the same again. So I've got 2 reconciliation energies out here for you. Actually, I guess 3 if you count having the hope that we can heal this, potentially wanting to start back over at square one. So this is looking like you looking for the decision to be made to kind of balance this out. Probably the path that you want to go down, what leads you to the world that you want, is probably getting back together and fighting for this connection. I have the King of Cups next, which is Scorpio energy, sometimes Pisces energy. He works together as equals with the Queen of Cups to build this 10 of Cups, this happily ever after, this happy fairy tale romance that we all dream about. This is someone who has a lot of love and emotions for you. It's probably how you are viewing your person, viewing him as that love counterpart here. But this is also someone who doesn't wear their heart on their sleeve. They don't publicly broadcast their emotions, good or bad. So it can be a person who loves you and you don't really know because they don't tell you. It could also be a person who's going through emotional turmoil right now, and you don't really know that because they don't express that either. Can be someone who's kind of keeping quiet about something. This is looking like wanting to resurrect it because you have love for this person. But then I've got the Tower with that, which is the collapse of some important structure in your life. This is a foundation rocking event. I knew the Tower had happened already just for the simple fact that I have the Star in your energy as your central energy. But it's double verifying it for me by giving it to me here. This is like very abrupt change to something, and nothing's the same as it was the day before this happened. Most of the time in a relationship reading, this represents the collapse of the relationship itself. Sometimes it can represent the collapse of a belief system, like this mental model of the world I've been operating from, where I believed things were this one particular way, and now something has happened to shatter that belief. I've got this 10 of Cups and the King of Cups here. And like I said, this can represent an idealized view of a relationship. And likewise, these together, especially with the Devil in the middle and the Tower here, this can represent an idealized point of view about your person. Like, I believed they loved me. I believe we were happily ever after material here. And now something has happened to shatter the belief, probably shatter the connection itself. So let me clarify this. Why is the Judgment, the Tower, and the King of Cups here? It's the final card for Sagittarius, please. I need to check and make sure that this doesn't have anything else flipped over. That felt a little funny. Okay. On the bottom of the deck, underlying this energy, is the Lovers. Again, Gemini Major Arcana. Again, probably from your perspective, a powerful love connection here. But this is about the interconnectedness between the two of you. And they can't make decisions like detaching and walking away without that affecting you. They can't come into this connection with toxicity that they're struggling to resist without that also affecting you. This can represent a choice about your connection. Are we going to call it dead and over? Are we going to resurrect it? Can we heal it? Can we start back at the beginning? Can we correct course here? Is this worth fighting for? It can even represent a choice between two different lovers. Got the Queen of Cups underlying that. This is Cancer energy. This is you having a lot of love and emotions for your person. But she's the only character that has a lid on her cup. And she does that as a way to protect her emotions from getting contaminated. This is like someone who is guarded with their emotions. They want to take the lid off and they want to pour themselves into someone. They're just hesitant because they've been hurt before. Now, again, I've got a second queen together. So I've got the Queen of Pentacles out here, but now I got two queens and the Lovers. This is a choice between two different people is what this is looking like to me. And this is speaking the truth on something in a severing of some kind. Okay, now when I clarify this Judgment, King of Cups, and the Tower, I get the Ten of Wands, the Chariot, and Death. Ten of Wands is Sagittarius energy. This is a heavy burden that you're carrying. It's something that's weighing you down and holding you back. This is a 10, and 10s are completions. So this is supposed to be the completion of you carrying this burden. It's supposed to be the spot where you lay the burden down and move on without it. In this top row, I've got what could be wife energy or basic equivalent of that kind of an energy, like the person that I'm building a life with. And then this new cup showing up, and then this heavy burden here. That's probably the burden, this new cup that's showing up. Next, I have the Chariot. This is Cancer's major arcana card. Fastest energy in the deck. This is very fast movement on something. It's at its core, it's about using the will to overcome the obstacles and the problems and challenges that are in the way. Getting past all that stuff through willpower alone and moving forward very fast and success and victory. There is an imbalance here in the card. We've got the Black Sphinx and the White Sphinx. That represents the dark shadow side of a person, which is also represented out here in the shared energy by the Devil. And this is the light side of a person. And the driver doesn't have any reins to control this. So it's just willpower alone. And if he's not in complete alignment, if both of those parts of himself aren't pulling in the same direction, this thing ain't going anywhere. And it's every bit as stuck as the Hanged Man. That could be part of what this burden is about here. Like wanting this to move forward, having the will to overcome all this stuff, yet it's not moving. And the reason it wouldn't move is because you're pulling one way, they're pulling a different way, and you're not both pulling in the same direction here. You're kind of pulling against each other. The other thing that this can represent is when this does start to move forward, if you are pulling in different directions, it's either not going anywhere or it's going to rip itself in half as you pull in different directions. I've got the 10 of Cups in this row, the happily ever after, and then the reality of the situation is we've lost something here. And there's still a connection that you feel, which is keeping your focus in a spot that's causing you negative feelings. Or we've got a third party that's spilled everything, and that connection is still looming in the background. And the choice about which one is in the background. I've got Death next, Scorpio's major arcana card. This is an ending to something. This is something dying so it can be reborn in a different way. This is an ending that has a painful transition period or a painful transformation period following the ending. It's right beside this idea of like turning it around. It's also attached to this will to overcome the obstacles. And it's in the column with Judgment, which is about, are we calling it dead and over with, or can we resurrect it and bring it back to life? Oh man, it's looking like you want to fix this and put it back together, and you're probably trying to struggle to get what it is that you want. This could even, if I'm being fully honest with you, represent you having an unhealthy level of desire for this person and maybe trying to resist that piece of you. I know this much is for sure. With the Lovers and the Devil here, this is not what you think it is. If you've got this idealized point of view about what this connection is, this is good enough to fool you into believing that. It's probably not good enough to fool the people that are closest to you, though, because they are not as emotionally involved in it as you are, and they can see it for what it is, I would assume. That's your energy in this connection for February 2025, Sagittarius. Let's scoot this over and take a look at your person's energy. For them, the first card's the most important. We got 9 of Cups, central to their energy, 3 of Cups, and their final card, 6 of Swords. 9 of Cups is Pisces energy. This is personal happiness, personal wish fulfillment. It's in the most important spot for them. So this is telling me right away that their own personal happiness is like top level important to them. Their own personal happiness is probably more important to them than your happiness. What they want is probably more important to them than what you want. Probably why I saw 5 of Swords earlier. Winning at all costs. Collateral damage is fine. If you get hurt, I don't care as long as I get what I want. This is also a single energy. It's a step backwards from this 10 of Cups. This is combined together where you're pouring your love into them, they're pouring their love into you, and we both feel loved and appreciated. And this is single energy. This is emotionally single, emotionally independent, emotionally by myself. I don't need you to make me happy. I don't need you to make me feel loved and whole because I already am loved and whole in and of myself. Can also represent someone who has an overindulgence problem, especially when I have the Devil central to the shared energy. This could be someone who's an alcoholic or has some sort of a problem with overindulging or being self-indulgent. Me, myself, and I kind of a person there. Tell me about this 9 of Cups, please. Why is the 9 of Cups the first card of Sagittarius' person of interest? Okay. I don't read reversals, so when they come out upside down, I just instinctively turn them right side up unless I get screamed at. I usually don't notice it, but I noticed it that time. So just throwing that out there so people don't flame me in the comments. Underlying this 9 of Cups energy, King of Pentacles. So there's Taurus energy, sometimes Virgo. This is like husband energy. Your very first clarifier was Queen of Pentacles. They build the 10 of Pentacles, the combining together of lives, building a life together, living together, getting married, going down that kind of a path. If this is talking about this as your husband, they're self-centered. That's the part that's unbalanced here. This would be like detaching and walking away to go find my 9th and my 10th cup because I believe something better is out there than what I'm currently involved in here. Right under that King of Pentacles is the King of Swords. Logic and reason and common sense. This is someone who makes their decisions through facts and the truth of what's right in front of me. I don't care how you feel. I don't care how anybody feels. I'm throwing emotions out the window and I'm deciding based on what I can see. This is like an emotionally detached decision maker, shared energy, emotionally detaching, walking away. 2 of Wands, Aries energy, a fork in the road, a crossroads, a decision point. What is it that they want for their life? And which path gets them there, and which path are they leaving behind in order to get there? And I think they're making that decision not from love and emotions like you're kind of giving them credit for here, but they're making it based on just what can I see, doing what's in my own best interest is what that feels like. Taking care of my own personal jollies at the expense of anything else. When I clarify 9 of Cups, I get the Fool, the 6 of Cups, and the 6 of Pentacles. The Fool is the first card of the major arcana. It's a new beginning at something. It represents taking a blind leap of faith on something where I don't know exactly what the steps are. I don't know how this is going to work out. I'm just going to leap off this cliff and I will worry about it on my way down. I'll figure out how to grow wings before I hit the ground. I'll figure this out as I go. It can also represent foolish behavior, foolish decision making, taking unnecessary risks, or risks outside of the connection. Taking that leap of faith because personal happiness and jollies lead me there, and probably because I can't contain myself. Six of Cups is Scorpio energy of the past. It's thinking about the past, reminiscing, thinking about the good old days, the way it used to be. It can represent something from the past coming back up again or happening again. It can represent a person from the past coming back up again. They could have a pattern. I do have the Wheel of Fortune right here as the central card to all of your energy, a repeating cycle of something. And now I've got an indicator that something is happening again. This could be maybe not the first time that they followed their jollies and took a leap of faith and started something new. I've got the Six of Pentacles, which is Taurus energy. This is supposed to be an energy of balance. It's not quite as potent as Justice, but this can represent wanting to balance something out. This can be generosity and reciprocity, like you scratch my back and I'll scratch your back and we take care of each other, equal give and take. Does not feel like that's what we have whatsoever. The other meaning to this card can represent the Merchant here, which is your person giving to two different people in the physical sense. And notice how one's kind of behind his back here. If that's the case, this is not a brand new person. It's not like they ran out somewhere and bumped into some brand new person they'd never met before and then things happened. This would represent someone that there is a past with, a history with. Doesn't always mean that it's someone they used to romantically be with in the past. It can just represent someone that's not new, someone that they've known for a period of time, someone they work with, for example, a friend of a friend. It's not a brand new person, it doesn't feel like. Central for your person's energy, Three of Cups. This is Cancer energy. This is sometimes being reunited and celebrating. I see that for you. In their energy, it's not feeling like that. The other meaning is we got 3 cups of love in the picture here. Third party love triangle thing happening. What's going on with this 3 cups? Why is that central for Sagittarius' person of interest? Yeah, I'm not liking this person whatsoever, Saggy. I'll be honest with you. I try to keep my personal opinion out of it. I really do. But this person is rubbing me the wrong way, and they're starting to piss me off. Underlying that 3 of Cups energy, you can't get more clear than this. The Lovers. This is a choice about the connection with you, but it's also a choice between lovers. What they're doing is affecting you. That's why this whole first column seems all funky to me. That's why the Star is here. That's why the Tower is here. That's why you're carrying a burden. I think they've got you in this repeating loop here where you're convinced almost that this is the happily ever after and that this is the person for you that you're supposed to be with. That's another meaning to this. It can represent fate or someone feeling like this is fate or destiny, like what's supposed to happen. It could represent that. But the truth of the matter, which is right beside it, is that something has died here. It's probably not what you are wanting it to be. This is a choice about the connection, a choice between lovers. And right behind that choice is the 8 of Cups. That is the shared energy that's affecting both of you. Pisces energy, emotionally detaching, physically walking away, going off to see if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. And there we go. King of Wands, Leo energy. This is a bold, passionate, fiery, determined person that knows exactly what they want. And they aren't going to take no for an answer. This is, I'm going to find a way to get what I want, or I'm going to make a way to get what I want kind of an energy. It's also the pinnacle of the wand suit. And the wand is about passion and desire. It's the phallic symbol of the deck, so it represents passion, desire, sexual energy, represents the male you-know-what and using it to do you-know-what. This is the pinnacle of that suit. So it's someone who's also very driven and motivated by passion and desire and sexual energy. When I clarify this Three of Cups, it's very clear that this is talking about a third party being involved. Nine of Pentacles, Two of Swords, Three of Swords. Nine of Pentacles. I've referenced the Ten of Pentacles a couple of times because I've seen the Queen and the King, and they build the 10, which is the combining together of lives, building a life together, living together, being married. I've got 9 Pentacles, a step backwards from that. So far in your person's energy, I've seen him take a step backwards from this combined together emotionally energy. And now I'm seeing him take a step backwards from this combined together physically energy. This is physically single, physically independent. I can take care of myself. I don't need you to physically or financially take care of me. I can do all that for myself. This doesn't feel for a second like it's a person who actually is single. So the other meaning to the card can represent a person who's not single, but they present themselves in the physical world as if they are. They act single. That's how you get involved with the third cup of love. That's why you take this blind leap of faith and take risks outside of the connection. The Fool card is connected to them acting single physically. The Fool card, taking that blind leap of faith or foolish risks, is also connected to the other single energy, emotionally single energy. And it's also connected to something from the past happening again, or a person from the past. This is either not the first time that they've had another person on the side and they've kind of like dipped out on you to go do their own thing, or they have a history of doing that. If not with you, they have a history of doing that in general. I've got the Two of Swords next, Libra energy, of a decision that needs to be made, only it hasn't been made yet. I've seen that Two of Wands a couple of times, a decision about what do I really want. I've seen the Lovers a couple of times, a decision about 2 different lovers that I have. And I've even seen 2 different queens twice at this point. This is someone who has to choose, but they're choosing not to decide. They're not going to choose. If I'm getting benefits from you and some other person that I have a history with, and I'm giving to 2 people, and you still want to fix this, and you're still maintaining the hope that we can heal this and overcome all of this and turn this around, and you're still trying to fight for it, there's no reason why they should have to make a choice here. Like, if you're not going to like make a stink about them having another person, why would they end having the other person? And then again, if they're still getting benefits and love from you, why would they end it with you to go with this new person? This is someone who wants to have their cake and eat it too. And it's almost like they're being allowed to do that, is kind of the feeling that I'm getting here. I think you're trying to like resist something. They're trying to resist, these urges that they have because they're in a connection here, and they're like building something with you. But I think this is you trying to rein yourself in from like seeing the truth or using that sword to sever this. Like, I don't want the Tower. That's the burden. I want to overcome it. I don't want it to be dead. This is also kind of telling that we have another person, because we're going from 2 to 3 again. So this is more Libra energy, heartbreak and sadness from a third energy. That is actually your very first card, the most important card for you. And it's right beside the Merchant giving to 2 people in the physical sense. I have no doubt in my mind that this person has a third party involved. It looks like you know that they have a third party, although it is entirely possible that you don't know. I did see Queen of Swords a couple of times and Page of Swords. I'm pretty sure you know. But you're not getting closure from them. They're probably not telling you that this is completely over and that I'm 100% moving on, but I think they are. I got 6 of Swords as their final card. Aquarius energy. This is moving forward into calmer waters. It's leaving the rough, choppy waters of the past behind me, moving away from something and into my future. At its core, this is about moving away from pain and moving forward. The 5 of Swords is the card that comes before this. We've already seen that. It can be a betrayal. It's a mentally and psychologically painful situation or event. This is about that has already happened at this stage. You can't change the past. You can only have an effect on the future. And this is someone moving away from that painful thing and moving into the future. But there's an implied choice when a person does that. The choice is, do I carry the burden that this painful thing caused into my future with me so it continues to weigh me down and hold you back? Or do I carry forward the lesson I learned from this painful thing so something like this doesn't happen again? I don't think for a minute they're carrying forward the lesson. I've got the devil here. That is a burden in and of itself. Them resisting it instead of dealing with it. What's that saying? That which you resist will persist. And it's here. It's coming forward with them. This is like, they can run away from you. They can run away from their problems, they think, but they can't, because no matter where they go, they take this piece of themselves with them, and it's there. Also, I don't think they're learning their lesson, because central here in your energy is the Wheel of Fortune, and central in the shared energy is the devil. This is called the karmic hamster wheel. This is where a person was supposed to learn something by going through this painful thing, only they didn't learn the lesson. They have to repeat the lesson again, and they didn't learn it again, so they're repeating it again. And this is like being on that hamster wheel where you're just going and going and going, but not actually getting anywhere because you're not learning the lesson. They're not learning the lesson. They're taking this toxicity forward with them. Probably got a history of doing that kind of stuff here. Tell me about this Six of Swords, please. Why is that the final card for Sagittarius' romantic person of interest here in February 2025? And see, now they're making me dig for the information. The cards are flipping right side up in the deck, but not coming out. This is a person who's withholding information. They're not being forthcoming with the truth and the facts here. It doesn't stop me from getting them, but they're not being honest with you. This is calling to me again, the Justice card here on the bottom. Like something unfair and unjust is happening. And the guy on this card, his eyes are not only closed, they're actually physically fused shut. And there's some wall that the person has put up as a way to protect themselves from getting hurt. This looks like I don't want to see the truth about them. I don't want to see the truth about this connection because it's so unbalanced and unfair. And I'm trying to prevent myself from getting hurt by walling myself off from the truth. I felt that over here where it's like there's the sword of truth, but the people have their backs turned to it. I would prefer my idealized version of this than the actual version of this. Now, when I clarify the Six of Swords, what's on the bottom of the deck is the Sun. This is a Leo Major Arcana card. This is the happiest card in the deck. It's happiness, joy, bliss, harmony. They have happiness tied to the idea of moving away and moving into the future. They could be moving into the future trying to go after their own happiness. Their very first most important card is their own personal happiness. The other meaning to the Sun is it's the card that comes after the moon. And when the moon's out and it's dark outside, there can be stuff that you don't see. Stuff can be hidden in the dark. Secrets can be kept. Well, the next step is the sun comes up and now it's not dark anymore. And all the stuff that was hiding in the dark gets illuminated. It gets exposed and I can see it for what it is. They're going after their own happiness. They're walking away. Eight of Cups again. That's the shared energy affecting you both. Emotionally detaching, physically detaching, going off to see if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. I'm going after my happiness. I'm going after what I want. King of Wands. I'm not going to take less than what I want. I'm going to get it, or I'm going to find a way to get it. Also, very driven, motivated by passion, desire, sexual energy, and all that fun stuff. When I clarify Six of Swords, I get Page of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, the Lovers, and Judgment. Page of Swords is an energy of someone who's trying to learn something or figure something out. This can be spying, snooping around, investigating. Hell, what I'm doing right now qualifies as the Page of Swords because I'm snooping around in your guys' energy and in this connection, trying to figure out what's going on. I don't know if this is when you found something out. It's like when they decided to like move on and leave you behind. Maybe you found something out then. Maybe you found out then that they were acting single when they weren't. Maybe you didn't find out until they left that they had already started something new. Maybe this is you still investigating it. Hell, it can be someone else that's not even you that knows you and them and saw what was going on, and maybe they're going to come back and tell you. Next, I have the Knight of Pentacles, the slowest knight in the deck. This is very slow, methodical forward movement, not being in a hurry, not being in a rush, one step at a time. This is like very frustrating energy. It'll make you want to pull your hair out, because this is usually a case where someone wants something really bad, like I wanted it yesterday, and I'm getting the snail's pace, this slow drip. It can also represent a person who knows what they're supposed to do, but doesn't do it for some reason, or even a person who knows what they're not supposed to do, but they do it any damn way. It's right beside this, I know I'm supposed to choose, but I'm refusing to choose. And it's also here in the same row with, yes, I know I'm not supposed to have another person from my past or someone I have history with at the same time, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm taking that leap of faith anyway. I'm giving to two people. I've got this third energy involved. Next, I've got the Lovers. Again, this is a choice between two lovers. And this person doesn't want to choose. This is really, really feeling like I want my cake and eat it too. My own personal happiness and my jollies would be to have 3 cups of love. Me, you, and this other person. I would like to just keep it all. I don't want to have to choose. Final card here is Judgment, which was the first of the 3 final cards that came out for you. Final verdict and judgment being passed. Final decision. In a relationship, this is either we're calling it dead and over with and there is no coming back, or this is a decision to resurrect it and bring it back to life and transform it. And that card is all by itself over here with nothing to go with it. No data around it, just an empty void around it. So this is probably representing you not knowing whether or not this is dead or whether it can be brought back to life. They, however, have already made their choice. I just don't think they have filled you in on it, because the one card over here for you with nothing to go with it, just an empty void around it, is the Hermit. Not having closure, not having the answers, not having the communication, and being forced inside yourself, looking at you for what adjustments do you need to make. I can tell you with certainty, this person is the one that had some stuff to work on. And because they didn't work on it, and because you got into a connection with them, now you have stuff to work on yourself.